Ezra Miller was the Flash. We're going to get into what's going on with Ezra Miller, the possible assault charges and kidnapping charges, possibly, allegedly. We're going to go into what the new DCEU looks like, and then we're going to talk about Gotham Knights, the video game, and kind of the CW show. Welcome back. This is Panel of Frames. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Panel of Frames podcast. This used to be known as the Fox Den podcast, and I'm your host, Fox Ferocious. You can call me John if you want, that's if you want. I usually would have my boy Sir D-Star next to me, but we're figuring out new ways to do this. We might have a technological solution the next time you see us, who knows? Or I could just do it. It doesn't really matter to me. I just need it to be done. Well, last episode, we were talking about Into the Spider-Verse. This episode, just going to talk about where we're going, and we need to talk about, you heard it in the intro, man, DCEU, this is about to be very different. But right now, just want you to let you know, we're covering geek media, which is like movies, comics, TV, and we'll cover shows, but we're mostly going to cover stuff based on existing properties when they make adaptations. But we can focus and will focus on new shows. But right now, I'm watching The Boys and I'm watching Obi-Wan Kenobi. And man, those are varying levels of quality. And we'll get into that eventually. But I just wanted to let you know, we post 2 times a week. And we're going to do news shows and commentary/discussion shows. So the commentary/discussion shows, I'm trying to get more than just me on there so I can bounce off of somebody else. And that'll be like, more than 15, 20, 30 minutes. It's probably going to be like an hour because we like to talk about stuff, nerd stuff. We talk at length about them. Sometimes we'll work guest calls in via Discord or Google Meetups or something like that. So whenever that starts, we'll let y'all know. I know I'm going to eventually get the question of how you can support this podcast. You can download the show, which you're technically doing if you're listening to it in its entirety, but you can also download it to your device, depending on what podcasting you're listening to. 5-star and review if the platform you're listening on supports that. And you can follow the podcast and obviously share the podcast with your friends. We're working on a website. We're not sure what's going to be on it other than the podcast, but we appreciate the support either way. All right, so let's get down to the business, the media business, the comic media business. Let's just get this out of the way with the Ezra Miller and the Flash movie situation. So the movie is finished. It's completely done. It's been done for a while. I mean, they've been hyping this thing for years, y'all. I feel like it's been years. There are people that finished high school in the time that this movie has been hyped up, kind of like the Black Adam movie, but not as drastic. Ezra Miller has had a lot of alleged assaults. I say a lot, maybe it's like 2 or 3, but one is enough. One of them was on camera where they were choking a woman, and WB was like, we don't know what that is. We don't know who that is. That's not Ezra. So they didn't say anything. So it happened again. And then there was an incident in Hawaii where Ezra threw a chair at a woman, busted her head just a little bit. I'm giving concessions, but it was still pretty bad. They busted her head open. And now there are kidnapping allegations. The court is trying to find Ezra so they can serve him some papers from the kidnappees. Now, these are allegations because the person that he's with seems to be there on their own volition. However, Ezra has known this child since the child was 12, and I think now the child is 16 or 17. So, it's getting pretty weird. WB has now come out and said, okay, we are not going to have Ezra in any future Flash movies, probably. Good on you, WB, for finally doing something, but you still have a decision to make. And I'm going to get into that in a second, what they're going to do with this movie. But they're trying to serve Ezra the papers to get them away from the possible kidnappee. And they can't find Ezra Miller because Ezra Miller is on the run. How can I say that Ezra Miller is on the run? How can I say that they are running from the people trying to serve papers? I can tell it to you because these now deleted Instagram posts. And Ezra said, "You'll never find me. I'm in another universe." If this wasn't so concerning, I would laugh even harder. I'm laughing. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's it's the audacity that's getting me. But it's a pretty bad situation. I'm not exactly sure why Ezra is running, because if you want the Flash movie to come out in theaters, you're gonna have to do a press junket, which I'm sure they agreed to when they signed on to be Barry Allen. So I don't know how this is gonna end. I hope it ends without any super bad things happening, other than that has already happened. I just hope this ends cool. A lot of people are like, what should WB do with the movie? Like, they're gonna be, if they put it in the theaters, they're gonna say, oh, you're supporting an abuser. And then if they put it on HBO Max, they're gonna lose out all the money. And if they don't put it out, they're gonna lose all the money. It's a very obvious solution, man. And I'm tired of people saying it's not obvious because they're trying to be, oh, we're gonna play both sides. No, WB is just gonna have to take this loss. This is a loss. This is, you pushed the wrong person, who, by the way, the people who are there now did not pick Ezra to be Barry. Zack Snyder did. So, and Zack's like, oh, goodbye. Like, he's all the way over somewhere else. So they have to deal with the situation. David Zaslav just got pretty much over Warner Brothers, and they're trying to find somebody to put over the DC Films thing. I'm just saying, y'all just need to put it on HBO Max. Put it on HBO Max. But all the money. Okay, if you put trailers out, every trailer, because this is the Flash movie, Ezra Miller plays himself like 3 times in this movie. If you promote it, it's going to be Ezra all over the place. You can reshoot some stuff. It's not going to be good. It might be okay, but it's not going to be good. The best thing I think you could do would be, because I saw leaks of the movie, full disclosure, I'm not going to go into those leaks right now, but the end of the movie lends itself to, you could possibly recast Ezra Miller, like, very easily. I mean, you're going to have to anyway. And you can't promote this film with his face all over everything and then have action figures of him be out while this is going on. And waiting, because everybody was like, oh yeah, they should just wait. Like, this movie was supposed to be out, y'all. I'm ready to see this movie. And if I don't, oh well. But it's just a shame, because more than Ezra Miller worked on the movie, there's the director, there is the gaffer, there's the visual effects artist. Like, everybody still has to get paid, and it's a loss for everybody, really. Ezra, like, man, torpedoed that whole thing. It's a loss for everybody. It's a win for Grant Gustin, I'll tell you that. But I think WB should just put it on HBO Max. Eat it. It's a loss either way. Eat it. Okay, you can promote it with, like, if you promote it online, HBO Max, you can show very little of Ezra and get around that. But if you have to do a whole press tour of the Flash without the Flash there, that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's gonna be weird. Everybody's gonna know why you did it. Just put it out. Just put it out. Because here's the problem. You've hyped it for 5 to 1,000 years. 1,000, 10,000 years. I feel like the DC fandom was 10 years ago or something. And that's when they started hyping it. So it's time for this to come out, because it's not fair to the people that actually, there's a girl playing Supergirl. I don't know any of these people's names, but there's a woman, and he's overshadowed the whole thing. That's why you should not be promoting this as a press junket. Just put it out on HBO Max. The girl playing Supergirl, she wanted to play Supergirl. She's probably like ready. She's like, this is like one of her first big projects, and it's now this. But if she does a great job and people have access to it, that is to go watch it on HBO Max, everybody will have access to it. Just put it out. They'll see her. Everybody will see her. Just put it out. I mean, look at Euphoria and Zendaya. Like, bro, did that start on streaming? I don't remember, but I think it started on streaming. And everybody's like, man, I remember from Euphoria. I'm like, dang, I ain't watched that. So that's what I think they should do with Ezra Miller and the Flash movie. I have never seen someone back to back torpedo themselves and everything else. It's insane. It's insane. It is. I've never seen it before. It's actually kind of amazing to me how one can self-sabotage themselves that far. It's crazy. And I hope they get help. But right now, they just need to chill out. Big time. Now, that said, outside of the Flash, there's the new DCEU, just like the new 52, because they're still pulling from that universe for some reason. There's some cool ideas there, but they pull from that too much. But David Zaslav, he came in and was like, all right, you dying. And he just started canceling CW shows. I was like, yo, who is this dude? It's like, where did he come from? It's like Thanos. He just came out of nowhere. It's like, I say Thanos, but you didn't have 10 years to prepare for this, man. CW was not prepared, bro. Did Legends get canceled? And I like Legends. I haven't caught up on after season 3, but I like Legends, even though it's silly, but I feel like that works for CW because it's so cheap. I'm just being real. And I know what I'm watching. I stopped watching The Flash after season 4 or 5, one of those, because I didn't know what I was watching. Shout out to Grant Gustin. So I'm going to talk about Gotham Knights later because there's also a game called Gotham Knights coming out, and there's a show that has nothing to do with the game and how that's just weird. But I'm talking about that in the gaming section. The gaming section is up next. Yes, Riverdale got canceled. I mean, he went on a streak, and I was looking for The Flash. I was like, yo, is The Flash gonna get canceled after this long? But no, there's still enough people watching The Flash because I think the people making it has like super long dips in quality, but then I think it's like Stockholm syndrome. You get interested for a second, and then they make something big happen, and you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe they did that on TV. It used to be more of that back then, like in 2014 and 15 when it started, because of the special effects on TV have gotten better, and it has not for CW for some reason. But they have those moments where you're like, this could be something. I still have not watched Superman and Lois. People keep calling that a CW show. It's not a CW show. It was built with a whole other set of resources like Stargirl season 1. I want to see it because it looks like they tried. So outside of CW shows, what does Zaslav do with the DC films? Like, what? It's pretty easy, in my opinion, and every other DC fan's opinion. Like, it's pretty easy. It's kind of like what y'all did with the animated movies. Not the new 52 animated movies that everybody likes to point to. The original animated movies like Justice League Doom or Batman Under the Red Hood, something like that. You could do that with the movies. Could have been doing it, honestly. Real quick, just acknowledge Amber Heard along with Ezra Miller. He inherited these problems. Like, these had nothing to do with David Zaslav. It ain't nothing to just, well, you gotta go. Combined with everything we've heard about both of these people. So the DCEU is about to get a major facelift. It's like a new Flash, a new Mira, because I promise you they're keeping that character. That character didn't get hardly any development in the first movie, so they're definitely keeping it because they've done nothing with the character. That might multiverse her tail in, whoever the new actress is. And then there are these HBO Max things, I think that they have now been transferred to, we're making a movie. And that's Blue Beetle and Batgirl. Blue Beetle, I'm going to tackle this first because they recently released these images of the costume. Man. Especially if you've watched Young Justice, you'll see this costume, the live action costume, will be like, yo, wow, I can't believe they went that far. Like, they went very practical. I cannot wait to see it in action and movement. I was not really interested in this movie. I'm not a huge Blue Beetle fan. I liked him in Young Justice. I never really dug into it. I'm definitely going to watch this movie because it looks like they care. It looks like they gave a crap. I did not have the same impression with Batgirl on that first image they released. I was like, I don't know why y'all made the pads look like that on her suit or whatever. It could have been Kevlar mixed in with some leather. I don't know, man. But the second image they released was much better. And I was like, why don't you release this first? Second image was like from far away, but it still worked. She looks like she's supposed to be in the scene. Like, this is a scene and she looks natural in the scene as Batgirl. That's what I wanted to see. And I'm waiting on trailers for both of these. Like, I'm not sure I need a Joker 2 with possibly Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. I'm not sure I need that. I don't know, man. You let me know if there's comments on whatever you're listening, whatever platform you listen on this. I don't know what I want to see next in DCEU. Dr. Fate. I definitely want to see Black Adam. I'm excited for Black Adam. And I want to see what they do with Dr. Fate in that. Because Pierce Brosnan is Dr. Fate. Pierce Brosnan... I'm a James Bond fan, and Pierce Brosnan was my James Bond when I was a kid, because it was GoldenEye time. It was Die Another Day time. That movie sucked. That movie really sucked. But I liked him and Halle Berry separately. Just when they came together in that movie, it wasn't right. But I want to see what Pierce Brosnan does with Dr. Fate, because in my opinion, it's an easy role to play, and it's very easy to do it very well, and it's also very easy to do it very generically. But I seen Pierce Brosnan in that movie with Jackie Chan. I forgot what it's called, but it was The Bomb. So hey, who says The Bomb? Anyway, I don't have a co-host, so I have to talk to myself here. But it was really freaking good. And if you look it up, I think it was The Foreigner. Look that movie up and watch it. It's good. He did well with that. So I want to see what he does with Dr. Fate. What little nuances can you add to Dr. Fate? Static Shock. Where's Static Shock? Where is it? Let's go to the next section. All right, so this section is for gaming and tech. It's not going to be that long today, but I just wanted to talk about the Gotham Knights video game. It's being developed by WB Montreal. I have a love-hate relationship with WB Montreal because they took over Arkham for Arkham Origins. It was the Batman game, Arkham. If you haven't played Batman Arkham, and you're a Batman fan or a DC fan, like even tangentially a Batman fan, or Batman's Rogues Gallery fan, bro, if you don't go play this game like yesterday, like a year ago, or like years ago when it came out, you need to play this game. It's everywhere now. It's on sale like frequently. Play Arkham. Even Arkham Origins. When Arkham Origins came out, I was like, why are y'all doing this yearly thing? Because I don't like annual releases, because I think they dilute the quality of the video game. It's how it's been. And they'll be like, oh, we have Team A and Team B. And I'm like, the problem is when Team B gets it done, if they don't do it significantly differently, it's going to feel like Team B. We don't want Team A and Team B. We want Team A and Team A and Team A plus, number one. We're the best every time. So when you do annual releases, you can't do that, because usually I have the same marketing team anyway, and they can't focus on two different things at once. Oh, we just pushed this thing last year as the greatest version of this game, and now we got to do it again this year. When you have a year difference in between, you have time to prepare, to say, this is really significantly better. I will never forget Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 and the difference between them. When I played 1, I'm like, this is interesting. Let me just get this stuff done. It was like, oh, this is something to do. Because, I was like a teenager. I was like, this is something to do. This is pretty interesting. And in the end, there was an ending that was like, this is weird. Where does this go? Those 2 years were full of speculation. And how they ended the game, it was like a whole cosmic awareness that was not going on until the end of the game. So it left me wondering for 2 years. I'm building, oh my God, what does this mean? What does that mean? Where do we go next? And then Assassin's Creed 2 comes out. And first off, I had the Game Informer. I still got the Game Informer. It comes out and it's crazy. This world is amazing. It's huge. There's people doing stuff in the world. I can climb several different things, buildings, all this stuff. And there's a whole now creed around it. There's a whole storyline. There's a character. The main character is more of a character. All this other stuff. If that had come out the year after Assassin's Creed, I don't know. Number one, you ain't got enough time to test that entire world. But you can't expand it as far as they did in 2 or 3 years time. Like, they went to Italy, took pictures, and tried to do things semi to scale within the game. That's how extensive that's why it took 2 years. Saying that to say, because I thought you were talking about Gotham Knights. I'm talking about WB Montreal. When Arkham Origins came out, it was buggy. A lot of people don't remember. That's why when people are getting Arkham Origins now, they were like, why did y'all crap on this game? The bugs are fixed. Like it's not like it was when it came out. When it came out, there were things happening. I'll tell you that much. Boss fights was going weird. I filmed myself. Like I filmed like not a review, but just a rant video a long time ago. And there's things happening in it that you cannot explain other than they did not optimize this game, because they were trying to do an annual release with the Arkham assets. That's all it was. And this team that's doing the Gotham Knights, from what I can see, it's a different team lead. I'm not sure how many people were there for Arkham Origins, but it's having the same issues as Arkham for Gotham Knights. We don't see any glitches, but I guarantee you those are coming. But first, it looks like they're coming from an entirely different angle than Rocksteady was, because WB always wanted WB Montreal. They always wanted a multiplayer online Arkham game. That's why they put multiplayer in Arkham Origins, and everybody was like, why did you do this? And after it came out, people played it for maybe, I don't know, 6, 8, maybe some hardcore people, but they made them for trophies. They put trophies in there so you could play the multiplayer, and they were required to get the platinum. And that's why most people were playing it, because the players would boost each other. It's like, okay, kill me next so you can get the trophy. Like, that's the only reason people were playing it. The core fan base of Arkham did not want multiplayer, but WB wanted it to have it so they could put microtransactions in it. And hey, everybody does it, right? It is what it is at this point, right? It's not really smiled upon by most gamers, but I feel like, once again, WB Montreal is being used to do a semi-Arkham, because it's not Arkham, y'all. This is not the continuation of the Arkham series. That is something Rocksteady is currently working on, and it's called The Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. It looks great. We don't have any official super gameplay. We have a gameplay trailer, but we ain't got any demos or nothing like that. They need to come with that, by the way, because I'm wondering what that game looks like. Is it even gonna be good? Is it even coming out? Because I still haven't seen The Flash, so I don't even know that movie's coming out. I wonder if this game is coming out, for entirely different reasons. The story doesn't seem to be the focus either of this of Gotham Knights. There are story parts, it looks like, but it's an afterthought. And the key thing about Arkham was that the environment and the story and how it was presented. Jason Todd has magical powers in this game. They gave him magical powers so he could traverse the area, because it's a free-ish roam Gotham with 4 players. And that part's kind of interesting, but you have to put things in the environment other than just random goon fights to keep it interesting. So it's interesting. It is interesting. I just wonder, do they care? Do they care about it? Do they care about it? I guess is what I'm trying to ask. Is it going to have the same kind of love and care? Are there going to be places in this Gotham where you find it in this little nook and cranny and you're like, wow, this Easter egg, this is crazy. Like this could be a whole other storyline within the game or something like that. Like, will there be moments like in the Arkham games, since they're trying to make it like Arkham Light-ish, because they're kind of making it look similar to Arkham with the fighting style, except it's not as fluid. And a lot of people have gotten onto that online. Like, a lot of people have started complaining about the gameplay for Gotham Knight, saying it's not as fluid as Arkham. And it's because it's 2 different studios worked on it. I mean, they use some of the same assets, which is why it looks the same. The character models can look the same. But, I mean, they got some of those WB Red Hood, Jason Todd assets from Injustice. So, yeah, they're just using what they can to build what they want to build. And if you look at the menus on the actual game, it's really looking like... It's really starting to look like a mobile game. And by a mobile game, I mean mobile game interface, meaning conducive to microtransactions. Like, it looks like they have a card system, like these trading cards. Anytime you start doing that extensively in like the menus, I already know you're going to be like, pre-purchase this next DLC pack every 3 months or so. So this is my prediction for Gotham Knights, that it will start off, there'll be some fanfare. The fans are like, no, right now, but there'll be some fanfare. Some people are like, give it a chance, and they're gonna play it and they're like, okay, this is kind of stiff. That's not what I want. There might be improvements, or it might be something WB just puts out and it's like, it's out now, and does not really improve on it as much. Either way, I don't think it's gonna last a long time, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope they get it to a state where I'm like, I'm buying it. Like, I hope they do, because I love DC games. I hope they do, but I don't see it. I don't see it happening. Also, there's a CW show by the same name, Gotham Knights. I think they're aiming for the same release window for the CW show and the game, and they have nothing to do with each other. The CW show is about the son of Bruce Wayne, named, I think, Tanner or something, Tanner Wayne or something. And then there's the Joker's possible daughter. And then it's just like the kids of the main heroes and villains of current day Batman. And they're like, who killed Batman? We got to find out who killed Batman. And it's weird because in the game, they're like, Batman might be dead. I don't think he's dead in the game though. I think he's been kidnapped by the Quarter Owls. They think he might be dead in the game, and he's definitely dead in the series. Like, they showed his body on the ground. And he might not be dead. You know, this is the CW. And there's only a certain amount of time before that probably gets canceled because everything else is getting canceled. If they canceled Archie, come on. But yeah, I am anticipating Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League because that is a rock steady game, and it could suck, but it could be good. I think it's going to be good. I mean, they got a pretty good track record other than, and Arkham Knight was good. It's just retroactively. The Batmobile was too much, and they did not do Hush any justice. They should have did Hush. They wasted Hush in that game. And he was so interestingly built up in Arkham City. Or you get to Arkham Knight, and I'm a side mission. Ha ha ha! I'm Lucius Fox. Like it is so weird because it looked like he was going to be the main antagonist of the third game, and then it was just Scarecrow. So whatever. If Rocksteady still got it, and I think they do, because I think their turnover rate is a little better than WB Montreal, but I think they got it with this game. They got all the style. It seems like story is going to be, a character at least, is going to be a little more important in that game than in Gotham Knights. So I'll be holding out for that. Gotham Knights, we're going to see what it does. I'm not getting that on launch. And thus, my friends, we have reached the end of the first episode of Panel of Frames podcast. Again, this is the news section. We're trying to do a commentary section. We're not sure what days we're going to get down with weekly just yet. I'm trying to do this 2 times a week, at least, preferably like 3 to 5 times a week. But let's just say 2 because that's easier to manage right now. But I wanted to thank you for listening, especially if you listen all the way. I appreciate you. If you want to support the podcast, you have listened all the way through, so you've kind of downloaded the show. But you can also download the show again if you want to, if you want to go again. If you want to go again, you can download the show to your device, your Apple or your Android device. You can 5-star and review this podcast, I think by episode, right? Or can you just 5-star the entire podcast? You let me know on whatever podcast platform you are listening to this on. And you can follow and share the podcast with your friends, your nerd friends, because we are more nerds need to nerd out together, man. Come on. Without the toxic fandom. Every fandom is toxic because people are toxic and they're also great. And you just gotta find which one is which to keep in your circle. The next episode will be out in at least 2 days. In at least 2 days. I plan on the next episode to be another news episode, but I might do a commentary episode. We're not sure yet, man. Okay, we're still getting back into the swing of things. But I'll see you in 2 days. All right, I'll see you. I'll see you there. And I think that's it. If you want to get a hold of me, you can follow me anywhere at Foxerocious. That's Ferocious plus Fox. Foxerocious. Usually on Twitter, usually on Instagram. Do not hit me up on Facebook. Facebook kinda sucks, but they're great with advertising. And I've run out of things to keep you entertained with for right now. So I bid you adieu, and of course, stay crimson.